Welcome to all of you who have gathered here for this event today. Uh, Without wasting any time, because this is a topic on which we can talk for such a long time, I would like to get into the panel discussion straight away. Item of discussion is to say that over the years, over the last 20, 25 years, as you rightly said, US has believed in a policy that US will grow by investing in technology, becoming the research leader for the world as such, and will leave the low end manufacturing more or less to the low cost countries of the world. And simultaneously, as US went on this journey, China took it upon themselves to become more or less the manufacturing hub for the world. With what is happening now, how do you think this equation will change going forward? Because suddenly, as Amit rightly said, there is a speed breaker now in the global movement that was happening for the last 20, 25 years. So, how will both these big countries that are today fighting a trade war readjust their strategies that have been their winning strategies over the last at least 15 to 20 years? Nobody wants to be seen today as a weak country bowing down to the big country. And of course, China is a huge superpower today. And politically, they also cannot be seen to bow down to the pressure of the US. So I agree with you. I mean, these are really two big economic and political superpowers, and neither can be seen to be the first one to give an inch away. And therefore, the worry is that this will continue. In fact, so many days we see that one day the stock markets are up because they're rejoicing the fact that probably it looks like there's going to be a breakthrough. And then very next day, no, it goes back and says, no, it's gone up again. The tensions of trade war have gone up again. So it's really extremely volatile right now, and probably the only thing constant about today is the fact that it's unpredictable. That's the only constant, I think. I would like to throw the question open to the audience as well, in case you all have any questions. But before that, just one question, one last one. Because we are in an EU Chamber of Commerce meeting today, and this is to Mr. Dave again, as being MD of HSBC, which is a European bank anyway. Where do you see the EU on all this? I mean, we are seeing US strong power, we are seeing China strong power, and more or less the entire talks are around what US and China are doing to each other, more or less. But we have other strong power in the Eurozone. We have Germany, we have the other part, and the entire European Union as well. Where do you see them in this whole play? I mean, do you see them playing a mediator role to try and calm things down between these two superpowers? Because at the end of the day, everybody wants world peace, okay? So they all united together in trying to get North Korea to the table, and probably the US president managed to do something on North Korea front, but and then the trade wars took over. So where do you see the EU? It's a very important zone in the world as well.
Okay. Thank you for that enlightening discussion. I'm Mudit Jain, a businessman. My question to any of the panelists is, should India take also a cue of, because we have a chronic trade deficit, and China has devastated many industries in India because of their competitiveness, and here we are burdened with more taxes, which are not of our making, but the government charges or overprices the inputs. So do you think we are in a position to also slap duties on countries hurting our economy to anyone?
Yeah. I think the trend has just about started through the statement, at least, that has been made by the government, that we will curb non-essential imports. And I agree with you. I mean, I was in a conference somewhere else, and I said, why should we need to import Ganesha idols of all things from China? Sure, maybe they make it still cheaper than us, but I mean, we don't need to. When foreign currency is so much at a premium for us, and we are permanently in a chronic deficit, I think we can avoid, and we also have an agenda that our government needs to promote employment in our country. It's not that our people are fully employed. So is it necessary to import Ganesh idols? And I think the government has just made that first statement, at least, of the fact that they would like to curb non-essential imports. They haven't said they will put duties on it, but they've actually said they'll curb non-essential imports. So maybe they will actually say certain items shall not be imported. So this protectionism is probably going to grow, and maybe, I don't know if my panel members would like to add to that.
This question was partially asked and answered, but I want to ask you. You have $200 billion worth of goods from China that have to be redirected somewhere, and one target audience is obviously India. Now, I thought I heard you say that this will result in, not in answer to this question, protectionism in India. So are you saying that trade war between US and China will necessarily create a multiplier effect for India in terms of extending that war?
In fact, not just India. The worry, for me at least, is that this could lead to a contagion effect across different nations. I mean, US has already started talking now, not only about China, now they've started talking about Japan as well. I mean, slowly we start extending the trade war to different countries. No country is going to be able to sit quiet on that. And then there will be repercussion effects. So it's a ripple effect. Today it's just between US and China, as we see, and a little bit between US and some other countries. But the bigger worry is that will we change the direction that the world has moved towards? And to the gentleman's argument about WTO, which was all going towards a free market, we've started the moves towards making it a not free market, and therefore where will it end? And that's the bigger worry. In fact, the numbers, as Mr. Banerjee pointed out, are very small. $250 billion in a $20 trillion, etc. But the symptoms of what this could lead to further, and the financial markets' tendency to multiply it 10 times, any fear or hope, as the case may be, is the worry. Because once that starts to happen, I mean, I don't know whether the Indian rupee's depreciation today that has happened almost 10% in the last 1 month or so, almost 7-8%, is that really borne by fundamentals, or is it more fear driven? And that's the fear. That the fear of what will happen is not known, and therefore everybody is, and even the government tried to actually say that it's not necessary to hedge foreign currency loans. I mean, to me that goes against all economic principles. Some time back we were in real trouble and the government said you have to necessarily hedge, and now the government is saying don't hedge it. I think it's a very short-sighted move, but this is the kind of reaction that I'm hoping that will not affect the world economy.